Hey guys, I'm here to talk to you about nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide is a drug that is gaining popularity amongst American youth and millions of other Americans. It is something that is extremely important to talk about because of the dangers and the threats that it poses to those who use it. If you or anyone you love or know is abusing nitrous oxide, it's going to be really important for you to watch this video so you can learn more about it and be able to know how we treat it and how we can put an end to this kind of epidemic that's affecting the country today. So what we're going to be learning about today is what is nitrous oxide, how does it affect the brain, who it is affecting, what are the dangers of it, and what you or your loved one can do if you are struggling with a substance abuse disorder with nitrous oxide. So let's start off with the question, what is nitrous oxide? Nitrous oxide is a colorless and non-flammable gas with a slightly sweet odor and taste. It was first implemented in the mid-1800s as an anesthetic for dental procedures. You've probably seen it yourself if you had surgery, went in for a dental procedure. It's the gas that they put in the mask that they put on your face to help you to fall asleep. Beyond that, nitrous oxide is also used in popular media, things that you've seen like Fast and the Furious. That's because it's also used in cars. Nitrous oxide is also used in the kitchen. Everybody's seen a whipped cream can. Nitrous oxide is that invisible gas in there that helps to propel the whipped cream outside the can. Something that's less known about nitrous oxide is that it's also used recreationally. People bring it to parties, people use it at parties, concerts, all different kind of environments where people are just trying to let loose. This leads to recreational use of it that is deemed as harmless and something that is seen as purely recreational. But the truth is that this is a substance that becomes addictive, that can lead to multiple side effects and health risks, and is a lot bigger threat to people than they might realize. Next, we're going to be discussing what are the effects of nitrous oxide. It is a drug that is abused by inhaling it, which will lead to a high for the user. This leads to a cutoff of oxygen in the brain, which leads to feelings of euphoria and a slowed down nervous system. This is something that becomes pleasurable for the person that's using it, and this euphoria becomes extremely rewarding. This high is also very short-lived. That is followed by dizziness, lack of coordination, lightheadedness, and other negative side effects. Something that even happens is where the user will pass out. This is where the seizure-like symptoms come on. It's something commonly known as fishing out, where the body convulses, spit can come out of the mouth, they become completely disoriented and cut off from reality. Long-term effects and severe health risks of nitrous oxide use. Hypoxia, a lack of oxygen or oxygen deprivation. When someone uses nitrous oxide, it leads to a lack of oxygen reaching the brain. That causes the seizure-like symptoms, the passing out, and ultimately can lead to brain damage if one experiences hypoxia over and over again. B12 deficiency. This is one of the more severe consequences of chronic use of nitrous oxide. This B12 deficiency can lead to tingling in muscles, nerve damage over time, and ultimately an overall loss of functioning. This is something that I've personally been exposed to, is seeing chronic users of nitrous oxide who have difficulty walking, lack of coordination, or all these things that are a result of this B12 deficiency. Psychological dependence. While nitrous oxide doesn't typically include physical dependence that's seen with other drugs like alcohol or opioids, it can lead to an extreme mental and psychological dependence on the euphoric high that's experienced during use. Serious risks at high doses. Although it is very rare, it is still possible to see individuals who will pass out and even experience immediate death upon using nitrous oxide. This is due to the extreme lack of oxygen to the brain and is really only typical when someone is using a very high amount of it. Still, it is a possibility that is very real and must be talked about. Who's abusing nitrous oxide? Nitrous oxide is something that's becoming way more prevalent in American society. Nitrous oxide use can be seen in people from all ages. Primarily right now though, one of the biggest populations seen using nitrous oxide is going to be the youth. That could be people from high school age all the way up to early adulthood, like 18 to 25. It's something that could be really popular at college parties and dorms and anywhere where you find large gatherings of young people together. So what are the signs and symptoms of someone who's abusing nitrous oxide? Some common signs and symptoms can be extreme as seeing the lack of coordination, seeing the declines in people's thinking and their cognitive functioning, but it could also be something as simple as seeing a bunch of whipped cream cans that are showing up around the house. It could be seeing the little cartridges that hold the nitrous oxide called crackers, seeing a bunch of those in the garbage can. One of the main things to be on the lookout for is going to be a large canister that's being marketed as a whipped cream dispenser cartridge tank. There are multiple companies that are coming out with this product and they're marketing and selling it in really inappropriate ways, right? So what this product is mainly going to look like is it will probably have really bright and colorful writing on it. It's going to have some sort of exciting flavor like blueberry muffin or passion fruit, but clearly on that label, it's also going to say nitrous oxide. Although they're selling this and marketing it as something that is supposed to be used for culinary purposes, it is really the equivalent of selling a party drug. Although it seems harmless, although it seems like something that might not be a big deal upon first glance, if you see canisters like this inside of your house, be wary and be willing to talk to the person you love about whether or not they're actively using nitrous oxide. If you or a loved one is struggling with nitrous oxide abuse, we can help. From detox to addiction treatment, call us today to explore the options of what's going to be best to offer you or your loved one the help that you really need.